Okey, Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera semua. Juga salam ma'al hijrah kepada semua muslimin dan muslimat yang menonton live pada malam ini di page Facebook saya, Nik Azmi Nik Ahmad. Uh, boleh boleh kongsikan dengan teman-teman acara live kita pada malam ini yang mana saya bersama dengan dua orang uh, siswi iaitu Sofia Tamizi dan juga Immaculata James untuk membincangkan tentang cabaran yang dihadapi oleh generasi COVID ya dalam bidang pendidikan tinggi. Ya, dan saya nak bercakap banyak susah sebab saya bukan generasi COVID. Tetapi yang saya bawa pada malam ini ialah dua orang siswi, dua orang yang sedang belajar dan terpaksa berdepan dengan realiti COVID yang ada. Ya, jadi um, selamat datang, ya, welcome to the show, Meklata dan juga Sofia. Ya, saya akan panggil Ima lah ya, untuk memendekkan dan memudahkan acara kita pada malam ini. Jadi mungkin Sofia boleh bagi sedikit pengenalan kepada yang audiens yang menonton.
Pengenalan diri ya?
Ya.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Good evening, sorry. So nama saya adalah Sofia Tamizi and currently doing internship with YB NIC. And sekarang insyaAllah akan final year untuk next semester di UiTM Shah Alam. My majoring is in professional communication and I'm also part of Persatuan Kebangsaan Pelajar Islam Malaysia PKPIM.
Okey. Asal mana Sofia?
Saya berasal daripada Kedah, Kubang Pasu.
Okey. Next, Ima, boleh perkenalkan diri?
Thank you, YB. My name is, as you can tell, it's very long, so you can just call me Ima. I'm currently 22 years old. I am a third year, I'm a junior at the Western Michigan University, majoring in political science and government. I've recently started my internship with YB NIC after completing my internship with previous Young Berhormats under the People's Justice Party. So I hope that all of you, when you tune in for this particular session, among our confessions here would be part of the problems that we as undergraduates go through during the COVID-19 period. Thank you, YB. Back to you.
Okay, thanks Ima. Jadi, these are to me two very vocal, very passionate young students. And I think antara yang selalu dibangkitkan, banyak forum ataupun banyak perbincangan yang dibuat di Malaysia ni ialah panel. Ya, panel yang hanya terdiri daripada lelaki. Ya. Tetapi malam ni bukan saja dia bukan panel, ya, tetapi kedua-dua, saya lebih sebagai moderator pada malam ini ataupun host. Kedua-dua panelis kita ialah female students, ya, yang akan membawa isu yang dihadapi oleh generasi COVID. Okay, so perkenalan sedikit. Kenapa saya panggil generasi COVID? Ya, jadi sejak kita melihat pandemik COVID berlaku bukan saja di Malaysia tetapi di seluruh dunia, bermula betul-betul meluas ialah tahun lepas 2020 dan terus ya memberi kesan yang besar di seluruh dunia sehingga ke hari ini. Dan di Malaysia kita antara yang mempunyai, kalau mengikut kes per kapita, ya, we cannot measure absolute number sahaja. Sebab misalnya negara India, mereka ada 1 bilion, Amerika hampir 300 juta. Jadi kita hanya ada 35 juta, ya, lebih kurang penduduk kita. Jadi kena kira juga dari segi per kapita dan bilangan kes kita adalah agak tinggi. Kalau tak silap saya, kematian kita sederhana secara relatif berbanding dengan negara-negara lain, tetapi bilangan kes kita we are on the high side lah. Jadi going back, isu pandemik COVID ini memang ada bagi impact yang besar sebab sebagaimana kita tengok Olimpik pun terpaksa ditangguh 1 tahun, stadium-stadium bola sepak terpaksa tutup Liverpool pun sambut kemenangan tahun lepas dalam keadaan celebration dalam closed door tidak boleh di tempat awam dan tetapi lebih besar lagi shopping mall, hotel, tetapi paling besar saya fikir ialah untuk pelajar sama ada daripada sekolah macam anak-anak saya dan juga di universiti yang terpaksa kebanyakannya terpaksa tangguh pembelajaran secara fizikal dan yang kalau diteruskan ialah secara online. Ada kursus-kursus yang very technical ataupun memerlukan applied elemen yang besar contohnya pembelajaran technical macam vocational dan sebagainya itu itu satu cabaran. Begitu juga contohnya kejuruteraan, perubatan dan sebagainya. Dan memang saya tahu ada diberi untuk kursus-kursus tersebut ada diberi beberapa kelonggaran. Tetapi untuk kursus yang lain termasuklah IMA betul IMA and Sofia, you have to do it secara most kebanyakannya secara distance ataupun secara study from home. Dan saya pernah menjadi seorang siswa lama dahulu dan I cannot imagine sebab saya fikir dulu nak pergi di kelas itu pun kadang-kadang hilang motivasi. Di kelas pun kita tak pay attention lah. Physical class tapi kalau saya kena ikuti kelas secara dan saya banyak hari ni we go through from one Zoom meeting after another. Dia sangat memenatkan. Itu satu. Dan kalau kita tak nak sebenarnya pay attention, it's very easy. Because dan saya pun tengok bila anak saya belajar, kadang-kadang cikgu tu kena tanya banyak kali. Dia kata nak minta apa orang angkat tangan dan sebagainya. It's very difficult to get participation. So anyway, okay, I'm talking too much. Kata tadi ni macam manual balik. But anyway, jadi saya nak tanya your experience lah first before we go to the deeper ni. Mungkin Sofia boleh cerita sikit macam mana pengalaman setakat ni bila COVID dan sehingga ke hari inilah. Dan Sofia pernah belajar juga secara konvensional, makna sebelum COVID. So apa perbezaan ketara antara pra dan sekarang pada era COVID pada hari ini?
Alright, thank you, YB. Asking about my experience, sebetulnya saya cuma sempat belajar dekat campus around 1 semester and half and then terus go to online and my experience is sometimes worse jugalah, which is disebabkan oleh jurusan saya adalah professional communication. So which is kalau di campus kita boleh interaction, communication dengan lecturer, kawan-kawan. And di situ sebenarnya dia punya improvement untuk my language and professional communication. But since everything going online, which is komunikasi tu agak terbatas and dia tidak ada komunikasi yang bagi saya efektif, which is sebab ada certain times yang macam kita tak boleh pay attention and I think that my skills of professional communication tu pun doesn't getting better since going online and because of me majoring in Arabic and juga French, so I think banyaklah perkara yang lag yang mana saya tak mencapai kepada saya punya target untuk menguasai bahasa. And then talking about my experience also, I think another challenges is when me honestly sometimes kalau kelas pagi like macam terbabas and bangun lambat but I'm so grateful if my friends are waking me up and calling etc and so that's thing yang I think the biggest challenges for me is when I'm majoring in professional communication but dia tak sama komunikasi di dalam kelas secara fizikal dengan komunikasi di dalam when everything going online sebab lecturer pun tak dapat nak bagi full attention, which is sometimes kalau panggil students pun students off camera yang mungkin tak dengar ataupun
Okay, Sofia.
Online and I think banyak perkara yang kita still trying to adapt, tapi itulah saya pun tak tahu sampai bila online ni, and we are still going to get things better lah untuk online classes, especially when I'm going for final year. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Memang I can imagine lah macam malam ni pun kita ada beberapa interruption, technical interruption. Tak kira lah saya ataupun Ima ataupun Sofia. Dan I mean kalau dalam kelas ada 20-30 orang dan keadaan macam ni memang mencabar. So what about you, Ima, and your experience so far?
So for my side, I had to take a different route. So since 2019 through my sophomore year, I had to take a gap year. So the reason I had to take a gap year was, due to financial issues. And second is the fact that with COVID, it doesn't build the confidence for me to even pursue online lessons. Because even before COVID itself, I have, struggled through online lessons. Lectures reach to us pretty late when emails are sent. Some of the lessons that is conducted, even though I'm a liberal arts major, some of the lessons require, a full understanding in a sense that you need to sit next to your lecturer to get like proper explanation. So jadi dengan masalah sebegitu, it becomes extremely hard for me to even when I reach out to my peers itself, my peers do not understand what's going on. Therefore, after taking a gap year, and then I realized that, okay, probably if I pursue into the working career for a bit, maybe that would, fill up my education schedule and basically curate for me experiences in regards to my major. But unfortunately, doing, certain internships online and so forth, it is quite challenging sometimes when we have a disruption in regards to the internet. Sometimes sources that are sent out or expectations set by supervisors, you are not able to reach so because you don't get a thorough explanation or you don't understand the expectations that has been set. So therefore, for me personally, when I see the fact, even before COVID itself, it was tough online. Therefore, with the COVID-19 situation, when I look at my friends who were pursuing during the COVID-19 period, which I will be pursuing as well, majority of my classes are also still conducted hybrid. Therefore, I only get to attend 1 or 2 lecture sessions, and majority of it, and the rest of the session has to be online. Therefore, for my personal point of view, it is extremely hard for students who are not well versed in regards to using the online platform. In comparison to students who have resources, students who are provided, or students who come from a very comfortable background, they do understand how to go about with this period. But versus students who do not get these, good amount of sources, they don't get good internet resource and so forth, they do not have enough funding, this becomes a huge, basically this just drags them down from the fact of performing well in classes. So unfortunately, the fact that in classes itself, while, because I come from ADP major, therefore it requires me to do like physical activities in class as well, because only 30% of my grades are counted for my final year. Therefore, 70% is allocated based on your participation in class. And the one thing that students do not understand during class is that we need to be active during online sessions, and these are not told. So therefore, this creates a huge problem when your final results is out. It is extremely different in comparison to you attending physical classes versus you attending virtual classes. So I think similarly, like Sophia, since we come from the liberal arts background, we ourselves struggle to get used to the online platform when we were not trained from primary or secondary school to do so. So therefore, I imagine for students who come from STEM background, physics, chemistry, biology, this requires lab classes. This requires the fact that they need to sit in classes to understand what's going on. Therefore, generally, I do think that many students' grades, their results, as well as their expectations has been heavily affected due to the COVID-19 scenario.
Okay, thanks Ima. So I think that's one of the challenges, and the other challenge is I think like this year, I mean, Ima and Sophia are among my interns, and I've done this internship program. I mean, I've been an intern before in law firms, in what do you call that, also at University Malaya when I was a university student. But this time, and I've also started my internship program, I think 2010, so more than 10 years ago when I was an adun. And I've had the privilege of having many young people going through that internship program. But so this is the first time that I decided to do it, what do you call that, online. And it's a learning experience for me as well, because it's something that is very different. And kalau biasa normally they get interns, dulu boleh ikut pergi parlimen, boleh ikut, in fact dulu saya travel Sabah, Sarawak, semua, they had that privilege and I think it was good. Satu, you tengok kerja kat parlimen yang very so supposedly about policy making, yang lebih intellectual whatever, but then di sama ada kat Setiawangsa atau dekat Sabah dan sebagainya, or di Kelantan, Pahang, whatever lah, I expose them to the reality yang di luar sana, the grassroots element of it. Tapi now if I expose to the grassroots element, there's a risk that their parents would come and chase me lah. So which is something I cannot afford. Jadi so we're doing it virtually, and I mean it's been a challenge. So anyway, Sophia, are you there? Yes. Okay. So just
yes, sorry, my internet.
Okay, tak apa, don't worry. We are all having that problem. So macam kalau Sophia kan, what do you think macam what's the major complaint lah di kalangan? I mean, I think kita ada sembang sikit. We've already raised some of it, the issue of accessibility semua tu. Tapi rata-rata lah what is the major complaint? Tak kira lah, mungkin whether it's about the cost, about the equipment, effectiveness, so apa yang the major complaint that you get from your friends lah, berkaitan dengan berkaitan dengan pembelajaran online sekarang. Or maybe bagi Ima dulu, if you can go first.
I think generally the first matter that needs to be worked on is meritocracy. I think in terms of merit-wise, while the grades are set really high, expectations are set really high, schools as well as the Ministry of Education expects us to directly get used to the online platform. They expect us to understand the online platform without exposing it to us few years back, probably both in primary and secondary school. So therefore, the fact that us as university students, when we struggle on online platforms when it comes to submission of papers and so forth, I do think the fact that students who come from primary and secondary school do struggle a lot, even in regards to participation in classes and so forth. I think also that with the current coronavirus situation, we are exposed to lots of pressure, in a sense, like, peer pressure, as in students who are attending prestigious schools, because they already have the advantage of getting priority. They have the advantage in regards to resources, in regards to opportunities, in comparison to students who come from very ordinary schools. So therefore, these students who come from very privileged school, they already have the resources in regards to getting very good internet connection, in regards to doing their modules online, for instance, coming from international schools and so forth. So therefore, I come from Sekolah Kebangsaan. I come from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan. So we use, majority textbooks, notes, and so forth. Therefore, when I entered a private university, it's completely different. And this is the fact that it's before the COVID-19 scenario. With the COVID-19 scenario, things add up more. In a sense, I think lecturers do think that students always relax at home. So therefore, they come in, they give us a lot of work without understanding the submission time and so forth. So these expectations that has been set for us students, in the sense that asking us, asking us to get adapted easily towards this situation, I think that is the first matter that maybe the Ministry of Education can reach out or can do seminars, or these can be taught through online lessons itself in regards to ways to adapt towards the new norm. That's the first matter. I think the second matter in regards to also when I mentioned earlier about meritocracy, the school doesn't prepare parents about the new learning norm for students. So when students are expected to attend class online and so forth, parents do not understand what is required out of it. Therefore, some families can be supportive. Certain families can be supportive as in sitting next to their children to coach them in regards to online classes and watch their participation. But some parents don't understand. If they come from a very big family, the house would be noisy. There would be lots of disruption that take place at home and so forth. So therefore, I think what needs to be done is also that these are very simple matters that the Ministry of Education should have at least not come up with guidelines, but should have pushed forward more concern towards these kind of scenarios. I think the third matter is one thing that I'm very worried about is extracurricular activities. Being on campus, we are able to collect as much points as possible for our extracurricular activities, which helps us graduate at the very end of the day, as well as students who come from the PT3 background, SPM background, STPM, and UPSR. But unfortunately, having our classes online, our extracurricular activities are highly affected. So therefore, we only attend meetings and so forth, but we do not know what source of merit is, basically what source of merit is collected. While many competitions are open, and it's shown both on Instagram and Facebook, this is again reserved to T20. This is reserved to the higher ups. This is reserved to people who have very good status quo, who come from very comfortable families. But let's talk about children who come from very poor families, where at this COVID-19 period, they have no time to sit in front of their laptop. They have to start earning money for their family to provide an income. So when the government proposed something, I think the one huge matter that happens is that they do not think of students that come from different community, different background, different race, different religion, and so forth. All of these are not considered. A policy that is delivered is always reserved for people who come from very comfortable background, or they only think of students within their region. Unfortunately, they don't consider students that come from, Sabah and Sarawak. Definitely students suffer in regards to internet connection and so forth. Nothing much has been done. We come from the East Coast region. Probably we are blessed to say that, East Coast and West Coast region, we are blessed to say that somehow or other in regards to internet connection wise, if you come from a comfortable family, you're able to get a proper connection. But again, I think these are all these very small matters, very petty matters that has not even been considered at the very first place. So therefore, my curiosity is that the fact that if a policy has not been delivered specifically for the COVID-19 period, and that the government announced to open school in September, students are not vaccinated fully and so forth, I do not know what is the next proposal that will be proposed. And as of this year alone, I've coached, students from UPSR as well as PT3 and SPM. It's not only called a loss year, but basically they do not know what's going on in school. They show no interest to attend classes online. Therefore, I think these are the huge matters that I personally have seen within this short time frame, as in for 2021 during the COVID-19 period.
Okay.
Back to you, Wadi.
All right. Thanks, Ima. Very well put. One of the things, so Sophia mungkin dia akan ada some problems from the connection, so kita akan she might just be on audio lah kalau tak dapat video to save on the bandwidth. Cuma anyway, one of the things that happened, for example, in the UK, is that as a result that I think they had problems to do the common exam, A levels, which is used to enter universities. Equivalent to our STPM lah. So what happened is that they then allowed school-based assessment, and as a result, then there's an inflation of grades lah. Yes, sebab I mean the teachers, this used to be the task of the examination board. Yeah. There were certain pockets lah, ada ruang macam project dan sebagainya, that one maybe at the school level, but the rest is all assessed at the examination board. Tapi then now that you allow the teachers to assess, and there's no central, there's no central examination body untuk do the processing for the papers and everything. So many people are getting A's, so many university dah bagi conditional offer. Okay, if you get 3A, you boleh masuk medical school. I mean, contohnya, or 4As. The competitive ones lah, or you want to go to top universities, you need to get 4As. So now everyone is getting 4As. Not everyone lah, tetapi ramai orang dapat 4As, ramai orang dapat 3As. So they have a problem there. And some universities in the UK are actually paying you to take a gap year. Because I'm not sure about the details. I think because dia dah keluar conditional offer, so they have a problem on refusing you your entry legally. I think kat sana lah. That's a problem in the UK. So they pay you. I think some of them worth up to £10,000 in terms of maybe some cash, some untuk duduk di university housing, for free and sebagainya. So I'm just saying how crazy it is now that as a result of COVID lah. This is perhaps, I mean, it is the biggest disruption sejak Second World War, and it's much more universal. Second World War was obviously in many parts of the world, but now it's truly global. So anyway, kepada Sophia, rather than we are looking at looking forward. Okay, Sophia, your target. Sophia boleh dengar? Can you hear, Sophia? Oh, terputus lagi.
Yeah, I think she...
It's okay. So, okay, tak apa. Ima, you take first this question. So, looking forward, after what you've gone through and all that. So, your expected graduation bila for undergrad, for your degree?
So, if I finish early, I'll be done by 2023.
Okay. So, how are you looking at your job prospects? Okay. One, on the angle that you are probably not, I mean, compared to your seniors, who the pre-COVID generation, right? Those who graduated 2019, contohnya, doing the same course, they would be exposed to more stuff, whether dalam kelas, dalam kuliah, dan juga, as you mentioned, co-curriculum. I mean, that's a big part of the education, right? It's not just about what you learn in school. So you certainly have certain gaps compared to that generation. So how do you focus yourself to join the employment sector, to be a worker? Once you graduate, and at the same time, the job market has also shrunk, greatly because syarikat gulung tikar, ataupun terpaksa buang pekerja. In fact, kalau nak kekal, some of them had to take voluntary pay reductions, macam-macam lah. So we all know that situation. So I'm sorry if to sound so depressing, but and I mean, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. Okay, I do think there's a way to move forward. Cuma I want to see how do you foresee your prospects in these circumstances?
Thank you for the question, Webby. I think interestingly, for my situation with COVID-19, I think it changed one perspective, which is I do see majority of my peers think that upon completion of school, then the working life plays an important role. So with COVID-19, I think it changed the entire situation that we need to work some of us will need to work in order to sustain our tuition fees per se. So I think I would say in the beginning, that would be one plus point in regards to the COVID-19 situation. It teaches us earlier about what is expected out of, let's say the particular major that you are pursuing, what is expected out of it, as in my situation, because I'm majoring in political science and I look forward to some or other serve the political party that I'm a member in. I look forward to work with politicians and to eventually then probably step into the front line of politics. So therefore, in regards to job perspective wise, I think for me, I would say I'm blessed that with all these opportunities, interning with YB, interning with the previous YBs that I had, lots of maybe working with a few think tanks and so forth, that has somehow rather curated my journey in regards to what is expected out of my major. But unfortunately, I think the downside to the current COVID-19 situation is that we don't get the density of the particular subject that we sign up for. So the fact that tuition fees itself are not reduced, even with the COVID-19 situation, we are signing up for classes. We don't attend physical classes. We are expected to learn on our own. We're expected to self-educate ourselves in regards to whatever video that has been placed forward. For instance, probably that video has been, that's a lecture session that has been taken from YouTube, and then they place it and pass it to us and ask us to watch, and they expect us to self-educate ourselves. So I think the downside to that is that parents earn really hard, especially during the COVID-19 period with such tough economy, to still pay students' tuition fee, but we are talking about the meaningful representation of the education system that is portrayed. The density of the particular subject that the student takes upon graduation, but basically, what do they understand based on what they learn? So I think when I compare during my seniors' time, they have gotten so much of experience, not only in regards to internships, they sign up for these internships as a learning experience, as a very fun session. But unfortunately for my period, for the period that my peers go through, we sign up for internship due to financial needs. We make it as, it turns from not a basic need into an extreme basic need that is not even required by the university. Because this is the situation that we have to force ourselves to adapt to. I think the second matter in regards to this is we would have to showcase a balance in regards to the education, in regards to classes that we attend, as well as balancing our working life. At this age, I think it's a good thing that it makes us very mature in regards to our thought process and in regards to what is expected again when it comes to scoring in classes. But let's talk about mental health. Mental health is something that has never been championed by majority of our higher education universities that we attend. As long as you attend the classes, you go online, you finish your modules, and then eventually you finish the semester, you move on to the next semester. There is no such guidance that has been showcased. There is no such support that has been showcased for these students. So I think it's not only that the education sector is something that we struggle, subjects that we struggle with, but adaptability as a whole. Adapting, understanding what is expected, where do we seek advice? These are all huge matters that sometimes virtually it doesn't work. It requires physical connection. It requires lots of empathy. It requires lots of emotion that needs to be showcased to students from very different backgrounds. Some students are able to understand, some do not. So all of these require lots of physical understanding, physical thought processes that needs to be applied in order to make students of different levels to understand what is expected out of classes. I think in regards to the second point that YB brought up, which is the job market. Job market, when we look as of now, we have lots of undergraduates who, lots of graduates who have graduated from wonderful majors. They come from great schools, wonderful Ivy Leagues and so forth, but they come home, they don't pursue that particular major that they have majored while they were studying in university. So I think this is also due to the COVID-19 period, which is the current job scope that has been allocated in the country, or the market that has been allocated towards a particular job scope that they pick. It's due to the current economy. So to earn money, they cannot pursue what they have studied for 4 or 5 years ago. Unfortunately, they have to pursue something that they don't enjoy. So this itself has become an extreme pressure, which they have not been prepared in school itself. The university does not prepare them. What do you do when you pursue a different job in regards different to your major? How do you adapt? They don't have the HC reaching out to them, teaching them steps. This has to be known when you step into the work sector in comparison to what is in university. University, you may be spoon-fed, but when you enter the work sector, this is not expected. They expect you to be independent. They expect you to understand things extremely fast. So I think in regards to the job scope or the job market, many end up voluntarily working without even earning a single penny. And one thing to note is that, students, I think when we look at the statistics from the Department of Statistics Malaysia, then this is in the year 2019. So we look at graduate statistics, right? The working age population starts at 15 years old. And in Malaysia, we have about 24.89 million people who work at the age of 15 and above. But only the amount of graduates produced in regards to that major is only 5.29 million. And when we look at statistics in regards to employed, the outside labor force as well as unemployment, in terms of employment-wise, is 80.3%. But unemployment rate is always still there for students who have even pursued a major, who have graduated from good schools because they do not know how to adapt. Even I myself, when I switched major, I struggled a little bit in regards to understanding what is expected out of, what is expected out of my major. But the plus point for me is that I know where I can reach out to. I know that with my major, I do have a job that is practically both in Peninsula and East Malaysia. I can reach out to as many young Berhormats as possible and work in many ways to understand my major. But if we talk about students that derive from engineering backgrounds, students that derive from aviation industry, how do they adapt to all of this? The fact that they graduate as, let's say, as an aviation student, but they are not able to perform physically in regards to their internships. And these play an important role for their syllabus. So I think with all this adaptability wise, the government should have at least prepared us as undergraduates in regards to what is expected. Maybe preparing us through sessions and so forth during lectures, that per se, if you are not able to pursue this major that you are studying and you have to pursue something that is in the job market, what is expected? What do you need to do? Because we can't expect each and every student to understand what to do. I may be lucky because I know what is expected, but majority of my friends do not know what to do. So they remain unemployed. And then this then leads to, mental health, depression, and so forth. And then when you talk about depression, the funny thing that I myself have encountered when I applied for, when I applied for a scholarship, for a governmental scholarship, was that because I come from a psych major and currently I'll be pursuing political science, I was told that psychology is not an important subject. STEM is an important subject. So all these kind of mentalities needs to be changed. I think the blessed part is that with COVID-19, these proposed ideas can be changed. But it's then again up to the government. Do they want to change, or do they, choose to still be ignorant and choose pursuit of whatever that they want to do? So therefore, from my side, these are my personal point of view in regards to the two questions Bobby gave earlier.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think when we talk about people who don't work their major, right? I'm one of them. And actually, it's been a long-running issue lah. Okay, if you look at the traditional, pre-COVID times, maybe it's overall it's not that big of a problem overall, because the idea is that you go. I know. Everyone, when we want to do a course, we actually think about, okay, what do we want to work as?
Right.
Of course, if you get super grades, then you have more options. If you, and it gets more difficult lah. And sometimes you end up, like if you apply to IPTA, you get, you apply, then UPU will give you your course. And it gets more difficult when, again, your grades are a bit more challenging compared to other people. Similarly, if you're trying to go for scholarship, right? I know for a fact, for example, Saudara Rafizi, he wanted to do law. That was his passion. He's a great debater. And I think even then he had political aspirations. But then, he got super results. I think he was the top student at that time. So even at that time, the scholarship companies would come for you even after your forecast results in SPM. So immediately it was oil and gas. It was ESSO and Petronas who got him with engineering punya course. So if you're a student, you get a scholarship to go overseas. You just sign up, right? You don't ask too many questions. And he graduated with I think electrical and electronics engineering, and then he did his chartered accounting and then went to politics, right? But I think the crucial thing at that time was the idea that, and this is the US. You go through the US idea of universities. UK is slightly different,
right.
But the idea is that it's a liberal arts education, where you learn about everything and nothing, but it's about your thinking skills. It's about what you do, your extracurricular, and then the idea is that you end up. You do whatever. When you graduate, then you join whatever job you want, or you get the offer, and you are able to survive because of that. Um, so that I think, I mean, it's not, that element has always been there.
Yeah.
But the problem with when it comes to COVID is that one is that you don't have that all-rounded educational experience. I mean, that's the whole idea of universities.
Yep.
Because or not, you might as well higher education is very expensive. I mean,
Yes.
even like when
Very.
you talk about IPTA in Malaysia, the government pays a lot in terms of subsidies and all that. The idea, from traditionally you get that all-rounded thing and not just in the classroom. So that one is not there anymore, right? So now you're like pursuing very expensive MOOCs, right? Online courses, basically. Then, so you don't get that. And then you go to a job market that is very much contracted compared to before. Less and less jobs are available, right?
Right.
And if you took your PTPTN or your family mortgage your house and what the property couple, it's really bad, right? When you go out into the market, and it's very challenging.
Yes, definitely.
So uh yeah, and now, I mean, even doctors don't get guaranteed jobs, right? So
Yeah.
that's the other challenge that we have. But anyway, I mean, I can understand that predicament, and for your generation going to employment and all that. And I think what I always advocated is that obviously now, other than, I mean, I don't want to go into the nitty gritty that government could have decided certain things
Yeah.
earlier and all that for our IPTAs, but I think what we can do moving forward for the COVID generation is that there has to be a lot of support.
Definitely.
I mean, let's pray. I mean, I think to be fair, we are doing quite well in terms of vaccination. To be fair, I mean, in spite of all the doom and gloom, vaccination, okay lah. I mean, our rates now have picked up very fast.
Yep.
So let's hope that, I don't know, 2 years down the road, maybe in terms of at least people can go to school and university normally. It won't be normal, yeah, because there'll still be a lot of the legacy of the job market. Companies
Yeah.
can't just restart themselves like that, right? It takes time. But anyway, as long as kids can go to school, can go to university and all that, that's fine. So there should be support for students who suffered throughout this few years, who couldn't attend physical classes and all that, so that they are equipped. It won't be perfect. It won't be perfect. I mean, because it's about, it's already injured. You can't make it back to normal
True.
immediately, right? And employers too must play that part, right? So they cannot have the same expectation for graduates that they had for the pre-COVID punya graduates, because you guys have a
Exactly.
different experience. So I think that's
Exactly.
important. Anyway, before we go, I mean, kesian, Sophia has trouble with the internet, right? I
Oh
think that's the
no.
other reality. She's in
Yeah.
KL right now and she has problem with the internet. But anyway, let's pick up some questions. From Brandon Lee, Brandon Mick Agnes Lee. The discussion is not about to agree or disagree about the norm, but to move from the existing norm to a new normal. We can open the minds of others to accept change. I agree totally with Brandon. And I think, as I said, it's not all doom and gloom, but we have to acknowledge the reality as well, which is very challenging. And I think that's the important part that we've been focusing, and the questions that I've asked Sophia and Ima. But I agree with you, that moving forward, I mean, we need to think about new things. Antara perkara yang saya rasa penting, is that to be fair, I mean, I think higher education is not so bad. Tetapi kalau kita tengok di peringkat sekolah, yang kita
Yeah.
betul-betul expose is how we did not prepare digitally for this. Memang betul, I mean, no one can predict a pandemic. I mean, okay lah, you have people who predict, but generally no one in the world, other than a small segment of people who saw this happening. No one
Right.
otherwise saw it. But once it happened, different countries cope differently. So I think one of the problem in Malaysia before is that we did not invest enough in the digital element for education.
We never
Dekat
took it
sekolah.
seriously. We never took
Yeah.
it seriously as well.
We
Yeah.
never took it seriously. I mean, yes, we I guess one of the issues macam yang I remember, right, during my time, I mean, I think it has changed, but during my time, at one point, we had our project sekolah. And that time you had to do it, and there's a long time ago, but we had to do it on paper. I mean, like handwriting. This kajian sejarah tempatan. I mean, if my generation remembers, we had to do it with handwriting because the idea is that we don't want to leave anyone behind.
Right.
Because if you do it with computer, obviously, the Taman Tun punya budak punya project will look super, and the one who is duduk kat flat or duduk setinggan or from kampung may not have the same output.
Right.
Fine, right? But we have to adapt, the fact that Malaysia has been talking about smart school in the 90s. I remember we're talking about that. Sekolah Bestari. I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, that's even in our national, our national policy education in regards to getting schools from suburban, urban area as well as rural area in regards to getting computers, laptops and so forth. But until now, ni dah zaman 2021 sampai sekarang, majority students still do not know how to use the internet properly.
Yeah, I agree. And how so I think that is one of the lessons, right? So again, going back to what we've discussed, I mean, whether it's at school, it's at university, ideally, in most circumstances, it should be physical, okay, in an ideal world. But one is that pandemics, I mean, we've learned pandemics, and in this with the global change of environmental changes and all that, we are going to see more and more of this, right? And historically, it's always come, every, some new flu virus or any virus, couple new types, it comes and goes lah, right? Itu satu. So we have to be prepared, and we cannot be caught off guard again. Kedua ialah we need it anyway, even if schools don't close down, we still need that digital element. We want it should be aspirational. Makna anak-anak kita, dia tak patut ada digital divide. Because the digital element, I mean, it's so much a reality today that we cannot, you cannot say that it's a luxury anymore. Okay, I remember my dad, awal-awal dulu, I mean, we come from a middle class family. He didn't want to buy a computer because dia kata, what for? It's a luxury, blah, blah, blah. But eventually, I mean, he acknowledged, we needed it. So he bought it. So now it is a reality. Okay. And anyway, now everyone's playing with handphones anyway. But we need not to just be consumers of technology. We need to be producers, right? So coding and all those things. So yeah, I mean, Brandon, I think so. So those are things that I think we're talking about the new normal lessons from today. Saudara Aiman Rashid. Hybrid classes. I agree. Hybrid classes. I mean, I agree. I mean, I think one of the positive things from this pandemic is that we have adopted more. I mean, to be honest, me myself, I did not use a lot of apps before. I really minimized my use of apps. Now I do use more apps. Okay, I mean, just giving an example for myself. And I agree that, I haven't tried it out, but I know that, if you look at the MOOCs, the online courses available, and I know, even the Ivy Leagues, Oxbridge is, of course, because they have a brand, right? They can sell. Yeah. So they're really moving in big way in these courses. And I know it's very useful, okay? But there are the physical elements. Certainly, if you're talking about university, that we still, I mean, I'm not talking about the long distance learning or apa yang untuk from people who have worked before, but I'm talking about fresh grads. Ideally, they should have a certain minimum exposure to physical education. But yeah, hybrid, I mean, I think we can combine more and more things. You can catch up on classes from the videos, kan. But what's so when was your first year, Ima, in university?
So I started
with your previous course.
Yeah, so I started fall 2017 and I graduated 2019 with
Okay.
So I did American degree program, but I switched it into two completely different majors. So
All right.
therefore, I think for me, the plus point was that with the COVID-19 period, it then curated in a sense, it basically taught me what do I actually want to do. But also one thing I bear in mind is the job market in regards to my major. Unfortunately, in Malaysia, you really can't survive. You require at least a master's for psychology. So therefore, I have to curate, similarly like what YB was saying earlier about what Rafizi had to go through when getting scholarships and so forth. You're forced to pursue a major that you don't want to. I think the fact that even if we are, getting any other scholarships or funding on our own, this is the problems that we have to go through. We have to switch ourselves to majors that can help us survive still. So therefore, I had to go through like a long period phase in regards to switching majors, understanding what I want to do. But definitely, again, the plus point was definitely interning with YB and pursuing myself in politics. Then I knew that, okay, this would be the right channel for me to actually pursue a major in regards to this.
Yeah. True. I mean, but so when you did your thing, was it entirely in Malaysia, or I mean, just to get some background?
So when I did my psychology, I was from Taylor's University. So actually at that period pun memang dah ada online classes. It was a little bit hybrid. But the plus point was that kalau tak faham apa-apa, directly we can go to campus, approach the lecturer and say, Miss, I do not understand what's going on. Do you mind coaching me? So we had, besides the peer-to-peer review and so forth, besides having a student mentor, student assistant, we also had teachers who were able to sit and coach us. Tapi with the COVID-19 period, to even book a session, it's hard because many students reach out to the same one lecturer. Jadi at that point, when the lecturer reach out to us, kadang-kadang they are also tired, they also have family, they also have lives. So on our side, assignments would be pending and so forth. But on their side, probably they would feel bad that, okay, I'm not able to coach this student well and so forth. So therefore, during my time in psychology in Taylor's, I had majority of my classes were physical, and I've appreciated the fact that with physical classes, I was able to perform well because 70% of my grades fall mostly on extracurricular activities as well as performance, physical performance in classes, and only 30% was curated towards our academic achievements and so forth.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that in a way, I mean, in any crisis, there's an opportunity. And from this crisis, I think it sort of kicked us to be less complacent. I think not just in Malaysia, to be fair. I mean, I'm quite old, but I remember how traditional things were when I was studying previously, right? I know that things have moved, but this sort of now, I mean, people are even questioning the value of higher education.
Definitely.
Right? Do we need to spend so much? Do we, some people who were so gung-ho, I mean, people who could afford or had the opportunity to go overseas are now relooking, Malaysia also has good things to offer. For example,
I was actually in that phase at some point because with COVID, I really didn't know what to do. I was like, should I still pursue? But I had no choice because mine is an American degree transfer, so memang tak ada choice, kena transfer juga. So definitely that was one of my thought process earlier on.
Sophia, can you hear, Sophia?
Yes, maybe. Sorry, I am just in.
Okay, alright. No worries. Video tak boleh?
Okay, sekejap. Sebab
just try then. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm
you got office.
Yes.
Okay. So Sophia sempat berapa lama, sorry tadi I think you told lah, but pre-COVID berapa lama? Before kena COVID tu what, 1 sem? 1.5 sem?
1 sem and 1 sem setengah, yes.
Oh, tak
Around
cukup 1
2
year
sem.
lah? Tak cukup 1 akademik?
Tak cukup. Which is saya total 6 semester dan saya sempat dalam 1 sem setengah saja.
Waktu before COVID nak tanya, because tadi ada I think Aiman the pensyarah lecturer from UTM. nak tanya before COVID dulu, your classes ada yang dibuat secara hybrid tak? Maksudnya ada element of digital macam online dan sebagainya before COVID?
Before COVID, honestly, no. Memang 100% fully physical and we don't even know how to use, tak pernah familiar pun dengan apps like Zoom, Google Meet and even Google Classroom, and we have never used that. And since everything going online, baru we try to godek-godek like that platform.
Okay. Sama lah. I mean, I myself, I've never used Zoom before, right? So we have a few more minutes. Tadi ada one more thing lah. I just wanted to ask Sophia juga. I've already asked Ima. So one of the challenges, satu is of course you don't have the same opportunity macam mana your seniors in terms of education. I mean ada gap, ada jurang. Yelah, they attended physical classes, dia orang boleh pergi active in co-curriculum, macam-macam lah kan, pertandingan, mungkin ada boleh pergi, lawatan overseas dan sebagainya, student exchange. So you don't have that opportunity, kan? Dan how do you see yourself bila nak masuk bekerja nanti with makna tak dapat pendedahan yang sama macam your seniors, satu. Kedua, peluang pekerjaan pun is tougher lah. I mean, kerja yang ada dah kurang. Gaji yang ada pun, I mean, kalau tengok the latest survey, even last year, graduate punya income has dropped. And even before that, to be fair, even before ada COVID pun, pengangguran graduan di Malaysia is already serious, kan? So, but now you already have COVID dah pula. It makes it put it at a different level, kan? So, bukan, again, bila cakap kat Ima pun I said the same thing. I'm not trying to sound depressing. In fact, as I said just earlier, there's always an opportunity in a crisis. Tapi how do you see this going into the job market as a COVID generation?
Okay, thank you, YB. I think this is what we call as penguncupan pasaran kerja. And untuk mahasiswa yang, especially untuk mahasiswa yang memang fully belajar online, I think ada cabarannya, which is we can say that we are living in unpredictable future. Dan ini sebenarnya menjadi satu kebimbangan untuk golongan mahasiswa khususnya yang baru tamat belajar, which is mereka tidak tahu dengan hala tuju disebabkan banyak companies and agencies semua tutup. Dan I think the survival between mahasiswa yang mungkin dah grad dengan mahasiswa yang sekarang, which is kita tidak ada yang saya boleh katakan sebagai mungkin ketirisan bakat, which is like Ima said, bila kita buat online, kita tak ada aktiviti co-curriculum dan sebagainya. Dan di situ sebenarnya aktiviti co-curriculum ni lah yang sebenarnya which is yang banyak improve our soft skills, social skills, and this is what have been mentioned by World Economic Forum, which is sebenarnya tujuan students enroll into universities is to get the social skills, atau untuk mendapatkan pengalaman kuliah yang sebenar ataupun untuk bersosial. Itu yang disebut oleh World Economic Forum. Jadi bila kita tidak, keberadaan mahasiswa tidak dekat universiti, saya kira itu menyumbang kepada kita ketirasan bakat, tidak ada social skills dan banyak duduk dekat rumah, tidak ada komunikasi dengan orang sekeliling. Dan itu menimbulkan satu culture yang kita boleh panggil sebagai culture of restive ataupun culture of lack. Dan bila mahasiswa kita tidak ada social skill dan sebagainya sebabkan duduk rumah je, which is banyak perbezaan, banyak kekurangan lah dari segi itu. Dan saya rasa itu antara cabarannya bila mungkin untuk akan datang, which is kita akan jadi antara graduan yang tidak ada, mungkin tidak seperti yang majikan inginkan, which is dari segi social skills dan sebagainya. Dan ketirisan bakat itu yang itu adalah the big challenges lah in COVID punya era. That's all from me.
Okay. Thanks Sophia. So banyak soalan. Sebenarnya sebelum orang fikir macam-macam, tadi ada orang tinggal komen, Sarjan Chem tanya pasal durian ni, durian betul. Tadi saya beli dari dia di kawasan tadi. Dia orang dari kawasan saya yang jual durian dan alhamdulillah tadi durian yang saya beli memang sedap. Ini durian yang halal lah. Okay, kita nak tengok soalan lain. Jawab one two questions before we end this session today. Terima kasih kepada J. Raj. Okay. So, okay, as a ni lah concluding remark. In a positive way. Sebab kan tadi kadang-kadang itulah ada orang cakap bunyi negatif. In a positive way. How do you think COVID has changed you as a university student and as a future worker or someone's going to go into the job market? So I start with Ima. So in a positive way,
Sure.
So yeah, I think sometimes it's important to strike a need.
Right.
And I'm sure it is. I mean, so please share.
Sure, Ivy. Thank you for the question. So therefore, in a positive way, I think as per mentioned earlier, with COVID-19, I think it has changed expectations that I've set into more realistic expectations. I've set unrealistic goals during the before the COVID-19 period because we were comfortable. We were comfortable. Not much expectation was set. It wasn't a competition within your major or pursue it within the job that you want to pursue and so forth. Therefore, with the COVID-19 period, it not only made me to pursue towards more realistic expectations. I think it gave me a sense of very mature thought process. It gave me the sense of lots of empathy towards individuals, towards people, not only thinking about myself, that I'm an undergraduate, I need to study, pursue, graduate, immediately get into the working force. No, what it taught me a lot was that it gave me lots of choices. It allowed me to set lots of plans. If plan A doesn't work, what can I do with plan B? What can I do with plan C? Therefore, it gave me, to me personally though, to people who are watching, to me personally, it gave me hope towards a more realistic thought process in regards to whatever I want to pursue in the future. So telling myself that not only with this major, I'm able to be employed, with any other majors that I pursue as well. And in regards to per se that I have to switch any job opportunities in comparison different from my major. I think the COVID-19 situation has trained people like me, Sophia, as well as Aizran and May. It has trained all of us to prepare ourselves in regards to boundaries that we will face in the workforce, what is expected from our employees. And I think the one thing that it has also, the positive part that it has educated us is that not only with physical touch or with physical experience, you're able to pursue better. I think being far away, but of course it requires us to put the extra effort when it comes to a virtual setting. But I think with this training, when we go back to the normal period where people start going into jobs normally and so forth, I think whatever expectations that has been curated by your bosses and so forth, you are able to achieve so within a short time frame. Because I think virtually, when you work virtually, people tend to set high expectations. People tend to set, lots of expectations. So therefore, to achieve that, going through the entire tough process, like what YB said earlier, from being injured and then going back to the normal process, it's not easy. Tapi I think from this situation that all of us go through, upon graduation, we tend to apply more empathy. Sebab empathy memainkan peranan yang amat penting. For me personally, I think that even if you may be you may be a student that comes from wonderful, great schools and so forth, but without empathy and understanding people of different communities, this doesn't require you to come from a liberal arts background. You may be from a STEM background, but understanding people in your workforce, in your work sector, and understanding the community that you work with, all of these are not taught in university. Therefore, these are the kind of things that I think COVID-19 has benefited me as an individual. It has curated me to be very matured. It has made me to realize a more realistic Malaysia, a more realistic country that I live in. What is expected in this country? What are the things I should do as a youth to amend things? To change is a huge word. For me personally, I think change is a very huge word. To achieve the KPI of changing is extremely hard. But to amend things bit by bit, from COVID-19, post-COVID-19. What is expected after 3-4 years of COVID-19? Therefore, to me personally, as a student, again, to summarize, as a student, I think it has taught me to apply maturity towards whatever I pursue, to take things very seriously, because you do not receive the second opportunity again. With the COVID-19 situation, I think it makes things very challenging. That is one. But I think in terms of the workforce sector, what I think it does create competitiveness in each and every individual like us. But also at the same time, with this healthy competitiveness, we apply empathy to understand our co-workers, to understand the work scenario, workforce that we are in. Therefore, those are among my personal point of view, a very positive point of view in regards to the COVID-19 situation.
Ya, Sofia, boleh kongsi, I mean, from dari segi positif, macam mana COVID has impacted you?
Okay, thank you, AB. I think I'm in the same line with Ima, which is banyak pointer yang lebih kurang sama. Cuma I think benda yang antara COVID, which is COVID really benefit us in certain things lah, which is we try to learn, we try to be more adaptable with technology, especially daripada kita tak tahu menggunakan aplikasi-aplikasi dan sebagainya. I think even take example of PDPR, banyak parents yang take a move untuk belajar macam mana nak menggunakan peranti-peranti elektronik dan sebagainya. Jadi itu sebenarnya salah satu perkara yang satu mungkin baik, di mana kita pun sedang menuju kepada, kita bercakap tentang revolusi industri 4.0 dan sebagainya. Tapi kita masih jauh daripada IR 4.0 and so on kalau kita sendiri tidak akrab dengan peranti-peranti elektronik, teknologi dan sebagainya. Jadi I think dengan COVID, which is semua orang belajar untuk menggunakan, belajar untuk tahu penggunaan dan sebagainya. Jadi itu adalah salah satu perubahan yang baik sebenarnya untuk even yang berada di pedalaman, kawasan-kawasan kampung dan sebagainya pun at least ada pengetahuan yang asas untuk menggunakan peranti elektronik, dan is it a good thing, I think. And then saya kira selain daripada tu berkenaan dengan bila kita bercakap tentang pengucupan pasaran kerja dan sebagainya, keboleh pasaran graduan, dan itu sebenarnya membawa kita untuk berfikir, adakah kita akan bergantung semata-mata kepada in the physical. So I think mungkin in the future kita tak tahu, probably akan ada banyak lagi peluang-peluang lain yang mungkin terkait dengan what we get from this COVID. And then I think also because of the knowledge skills, which is kita mungkin akan berfikir macam mana lagi untuk kita memperbaharui kita punya mungkin bakat-bakat, social skill, people skill dan sebagainya. And we need to develop another new things sebagai ganti kepada mungkin, sebab kita tidak tahu sampai bila kita akan duduk di dalam new norm like right now. So I think there's more thing lah, which is yes, we can't deny that we are living in the unpredictable future, but I think whatever it is, we must always getting ready to tackle the most constantly changing world. That's all.
Okay, thank you. I think we are fortunate tonight. Kita ada dua siswi yang dapat berkongsi pengalaman. Saya pun banyak belajar daripada your perkongsian, and you have that youthful idealism that's not being tempered by age. So I'm in the slightly older cohort yang mana dah start tua, and then your views. But that is a, what do you call that? It's a natural process in life lah. I'm not sure whether it was Churchill, and Churchill changed parties, but whoever lah, there was this quote. I think it's Churchill, but you have to double check. He came out saying that dia punya yes, if you are not a liberal, if you are not a socialist in your 20s, then you have no heart. If you are still a socialist when you're 40, then you have no brains. So no offense, but it's about what do you call that? It's about idealism and about experience and about all those things and how people mature. But I think another take back is that the government, again, bila kita bercakap pasal COVID, ini juga boleh jadi satu peluang. Sebenarnya masalah jurang kaya miskin, masalah kemiskinan bandar, masalah kemiskinan desa, masalah kita tidak betul-betul embrace digitalization dalam sistem pendidikan. Ini masalah pengangguran graduan, masalah gaji pekerja kita, dan we have what do you call that, keuntungan yang terlalu besar, corporate inflated corporate profits in Malaysia. Ini bukan masalah COVID. Ini masalah sebelum COVID.
Betul.
Tetapi bila kita berhadapan dengan COVID, maka it has exposed this thing. Dan masalah-masalah ini menjadi lebih ketara. Dan kesannya, kita tengok hari ni lah, macam mana syarikat yang buat sarung tangan, ni rubber gloves, yang untung besar waktu COVID, some of them become, the shareholders become billionaires overnight, tetapi kita lihat pekerja-pekerja mereka kemudian mati disebabkan perumahan yang tidak baik, especially foreign workers. So that's one example lah. Banyak lagi. Kita ada kisah Viviana kan yang menjadi highlight tahun lepas. So I think that what the government should do is we really have to spend big this time. We cannot talk about, I'm not saying that kerajaan betul ada hutang, kerajaan ada tanggungjawab, tapi ini masa untuk meminjam duit dan betul-betul berbelanja besar to repair the problems, the structural problems in our society. So as a close, is that we look at misalnya what is called the greatest generation in America, and this was the generation yang melalui the Great Depression, i.e. the economic crisis tahun 30-an, 20-an, 30-an, dan kemudian mereka juga telah serve in the Second World War. But what did the government do? The government created the GI Bill, in order to get those who serve as soldiers to go to university. It's a scholarship program for all soldiers. And this created the middle class lepas tu. They also, funny thing is that after that, a lot of babies were born after the war, 1946. People got back, they got married and all that, and everyone had children. Itu yang jadi boomer. Boomer was the kids of the greatest generation. So that is the history of why America, the so-called after that America being so dominant is because the government did a lot of things. The New Deal in the 30s, and then what they did during and after the war.
Right.
So we need that same action. It's a similar experience. You look at the UK with the NHS welfare state that came about after the war. Germany, lepas kalah perang, then they restructured the economy to become an economic powerhouse. Japan, similar, kalah perang, also restructured economy. So Malaysia now, kita berhadapan dengan COVID, we should address. We are looking at America again, with Biden, they're spending a lot of money to take this crisis as an opportunity. So I think what we, the older generation, owe you guys is that this is to really invest in you guys to be the greatest generation, because you have suffered so much because of COVID. So terima kasih kepada yang menonton. Minta maaf tak dapat layan semua. We'll do more of this. I'm committed to do more of this.
We look forward. Definitely.
Yes, new normal. And kita doa maybe soon, maybe tak tahulah bila, but once we can go back to some form of old normal, we'll do some physical forums as well. But for now, we'll make do with what we can. Stay safe, jaga diri, kita jaga kita. Terima kasih semua.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Jangan lupa follow Nik Nazmi, Nik Ahmad di Facebook
And Instagram.
and Instagram dan TikTok.
And TikTok, yes.